Welcome to Midnight Movie Talk, live from Los Angeles. I am Eric Weber, the big Sunday night show where we discuss box office and all the events of the past weekend and look ahead to the following week. Thanks for coming here. Thanks for being here live. We don't tape this show like so many others where they say something, edit, say something, edit, say something, edit. No, we don't do that. And we also don't read a teleprompter looking over here. We look right at the camera. Give me a like if you can. Give me a subscribe. You probably already have. If you haven't, do it for me. We're getting close to getting this thing monetized. But ultimately, like I told you guys, when we do this, it's all about the communication and the community that we build. It's really not about anything other than that. It's almost like a live Twitter session, right? Because you guys can give me comments, and I'm going to work off of those comments. And our top story tonight is something that I called here on MMT weeks and weeks ago. I told you that Amsterdam was going to implode, and guess what? It did. And to prove that I did say this, we go directly to the Twitter, and we zoom in on a tweet that I sent. Let's look at this. The tweet was sent September 30th. So that was last Friday. At 6:25, I was walking into a screening, and I said, you know what? I need to make sure that I get this on record, that Amsterdam is going to crater. And you see it here. 1 week before it opened, I said, this thing is going to tank. And guess what? It did. Are any of us shocked? No, nobody is surprised. Let's go right to Variety and to the top of their article here, the box office recap over the weekend. David O. Russell's star-studded period drama Amsterdam collapsed in its box office debut. If you watch MMT, you knew that was going to happen, earning an anemic $6.5 million from 3,000 North American theaters. It cost $80 million to produce, and it couldn't overcome bad reviews, minimal buzz, shaping up to be one of the biggest misfires of the year. Okay, let's stop there. Did I or did I not? And give me a like for this. Hit me in the comments. You know you heard it here first. I said when we look into the future and we talk about film misfires, Amsterdam will be attached to that label forever, for eternity. And it's exactly what happened, and Variety is calling it a misfire. That's what you get here at MMT. We literally predict the future. It's not hard. You know why it's not hard? People say, how are you able to be accurate, so often? Because when you see a film as bad as Amsterdam, and make no mistake, this is a terrible film, you know that it is going down hard. Now, there are some films that are immune to critics' reviews. I will cede you that all day, any day, okay? We're going to talk about something like Halloween Ends. Something like, I would even say, Black Adam. Black Panther. I think Black Panther is going to be really good. I think we all do, right? Black Panther 2 is going to be good. But let's just assume that it was not great. It's a Marvel movie. It's going to be fine. The difference is here when you're working with art house-y indie film, even though it has that $80 million budget, when you look at this film, it looks like an indie film, right? It looks like it's star-studded, right? But it's David O. Russell. It's for the adults. And the reviews matter in that case. That's when reviews matter. When you're talking about films like Amsterdam, like Triangle Sadness, we're going to talk about shortly, like Tar, which I raved about when I came out of that on Friday. We can talk about that tonight if you want to. These films need the reviews. You cannot open an indie-ish film, and yes, Amsterdam is, even with the budget, an indie-leaning film with bad reviews. And that's what happened. And also, it just looked bad. I mean, that trailer was almost unwatchable. I remember watching that trailer going, this movie's going to suck. I said Amsterdam was going to suck months and months ago, okay? We've been doing this show for 6 months. I swear to you, I told you guys Amsterdam was going to go down hard like at least 2 months before it opened. You could just see it. You can feel it. There's this weird thing you have to tap into, the zeitgeist. You have to almost watch something and almost you can see into the future and go, that's bad, right? We've all seen the trailer. It's not good. Okay, let's get some reaction from you. Other than, yes, you were right again, Eric. By the way, one more thing I want to pull up before we move on. Let me roll back to the tweet. This is amazing. Okay, I threw it out there just to say, hey, By the way, I want to make sure everybody knows that I called this. Okay, so I put it out here. Now, this is the stuff that you won't see anywhere else. Let me go down here to this is the tweet I put onto Film Updates, thing about Amsterdam going down hard. Okay, go down and I hit tweet analytics. We're going to view those. So I just posted this. I said, I want some love for calling this and knowing for certain it was going to happen. 54,000 impressions. 54, almost 55. It's climbing by the second as it goes up. Okay. Which is pretty insane for just a comment. But I think it speaks to what we're all looking for in this time. We're looking for truth and accuracy, and you get both here on MMT. Joshua, good evening to you. Amsterdam is another great example that no matter how big the star, director, or budget, a crap movie is still a crap movie, right? But remember what I just said about these indie-ish films, which Amsterdam is. You need the reviews more than you do for something like horror or for Marvel, action even. The reviews are absolutely essential for these award-ish films. Now, Amsterdam, we called this when I saw it and came out and we had a discussion that night. Not an awards film. There is no chance this gets in anywhere. People are like, well, what about costume design? What about production design? And I was like, no, and no. I run Awards Ace. I've been very good about calling films and their viability in the space of awards in different categories. And I can tell you right now, I told you when I came out of it, Amsterdam's non-starter. It is not happening. We'll get to another non-starter in a moment, okay? Give me a minute. We're going to get to it. And we're going to get to a lot of your comments. I'm very excited to hear from you guys tonight on the Sunday. Sunday's my favorite show because we have so much to discuss. I mean, literally, we could do more than an hour, but you know the deal. It's an hour. We're going to crash it all in an hour. Crunch it in. Black Panther can have Amsterdam reviews and still possibly make $1 billion. Dominion's a great example of that. Stephen, great comment, 100%. Again, these films are not necessarily review proof totally, but they are much more insulated than a film like Amsterdam, Tar, Triangle of Sadness, going on to Banshees of Inisherin, wherever we're going to go with this, the next awards film, The Whale. These are all review films. You've got to have that to get box office. Bodie, good evening to you. I can't really call Amsterdam indie-ish considering the huge cast, big budget. Okay, when I say indie-ish, I understand. I get it. I'm saying the content is indie, right? This is not a film. When you show the trailer for Amsterdam to a young person, if you have one in your life, show it to them and ask them if they want to see that movie. The answer is no. So when I say indie-ish, I'm saying really, I mean art housey, right? It's going for the more elevated, nose in the air, cinephile crowd. And when the movie's terrible, that crowd is out. And that's what happened this weekend. Not hard to figure out. Amsterdam did a period film to talk about buzzwords of today like fascism, dictatorship, big business issues, etc. It doesn't work and it's boring. Ken, it's not just boring, right? It is definitely boring. Okay, it's more than that. There's not one issue, one single aspect of this film that you recommend. Not one. Not Christian Bale. Not Margot Robbie, even though she is like literally drop dead gorgeous, right? We can agree. Bale, no good. I mean, just trying too hard. Everyone here is trying too hard. We said it again here on MMT. Everyone in the film is going out of their way to overact because they know the film's bad. They know. They had to know. I just wonder, and I really would love to get one of them. Listen, if I ever run into Margot Robbie at a party, and trust me, I'll do this. I got a great story to tell you guys. Just got to hang on to the stream. Great story from Friday night. I would walk up to Margot Robbie and say, what were you thinking? Well, I got to watch that. She wouldn't answer it. I got to say, so when you signed on to Amsterdam, was the script the same script that you ended up with? Because that is not as pointed, but yet it allows her to know that I say, that's not a good film. So then Margot would say something like, well, it was slightly different and unfortunately it didn't work out how we expected. Like, do you think she's going to defend the film? There's no way. On the record, she would. But off the record, she is telling her friends, thank God that's over. I don't ever want to talk about Amsterdam again. All right. You know that's the truth. Okay, let's get into story number 2, and then we'll go to more comments. We got plenty of time here tonight. All right, here we go. Comment. Let's do number 2. Smile. I'm sorry for this. It keeps grinning. I couldn't come up with something better. But here's the reality. This is a film that is holding at a minus 22%. So when we talk about second weekends of films, and this is Smile's second weekend, you are looking at traditionally a 50% or higher subtraction, right? So you're going down at least 50% from the number. So let's say that it opened at 20, you're going to be at 10 or actually less because your number is going to probably be 55 down. Okay. So in this case, it was down 22%. It's at like almost 17 plus million in the second weekend. It has 50 million stateside, 90 million worldwide. This is a phenomenon, right? When we talk about a film that is an indie, this is a small budget film. This is Smile. This is a film under 10 million on the budget, right? What was it? It was under 10, if I'm not mistaken. And now you have the situation where you have great word of mouth for horror, even though it's a B minus cinema score for horror, that's very good. And you have nothing else that's in the marketplace except for Terrifier 2. We'll get to that in a moment as well. You have Halloween Ends coming, but right now you have Smile theatrical only. Halloween Ends is going to be on Peacock, which is the stupidest decision ever by a studio, or certainly in the top 5. And now you have Smile holding in there and generating business from word of mouth and from theatrical exclusivity. Those two things are key to Smile hitting 50 million and 90 million worldwide. If this is day and date on Paramount Plus, there's no way we're looking at these numbers. So we need to end any discussion of that, which we had during COVID. Remember, those people would come onto Twitter and you'd be like, oh my God, I cannot believe I have to actually discuss this with you. That when you put something on at home, people are going to take that option. They're just going to take it. They're not going to go to the movie theater. A great example, I watched Terrifier 2 on a screener last night. A screening link, okay? So studio sends you screening links, and I don't often take advantage of them. But last night, I was exhausted. I didn't want to go down to the theater, and frankly, it wasn't showing at AMC tonight. It was tomorrow. It's today. So I watched the screener. Bottom line is that when you make films only available in theater, well, wow, what do you think's going to happen? I can tell you. People are going to go see it, especially a movie like Smile that is very good. Again, another film that we called. I told you guys that Smile was good, and I said it has a very good chance to become a cult classic, a horror classic film over the years, and look what's happening. Again, gold star. Give me a like. Smile was so good. Seen it twice. Might go see it a third time next week. Next time I see you, I've discussed the ending. I'm in the middle of it. Gone Girl, I look forward to seeing you again at Burbank 16 in the future. I can't wait. I would love to talk about the film, but we can't. Remember, we don't do a lot of spoilers here. At some point, once the film is out and we've gone through it, and you've all seen it, we can do that. Like if we were to talk about Top Gun Maverick and do spoilers, you guys would be cool with that. But we do Smile. A lot of you still haven't seen it, okay? I mean, this isn't like an opening of a Marvel movie where it's opening at the 175 million mark and you're talking about everybody's seen it. So I don't want to do that, but I can't wait to have that discussion. Smile is such a good film, and it's very, very well directed. I mean, it's really what a talent this kid is. This Parker Finn is going to be a major talent down the road, along with Rose Glass, along with Zach Krager. I like Barbarian. I'm just have him a notch lower. Okay. So when you look at future horror, megastars, or just frankly megastars out of that Ty West, it's Rose Glass, and I would actually throw Parker Finn in there. Those are my 3 right now. I mean, Ari Aster's already there, right? Let's talk about 3 people who have, their debut, and now they're going to go on to the next thing. Even though Ty, he has been around. Saw Smile last night. It's mids, maybe 2 to 3. Okay, I disagree completely, David. It's certainly an opinion. We can have that. I completely disagree with you. There are people who do believe that. The one thing I will say that we cannot debate is the filmmaking here is very strong. Okay, we need to at least establish that. So when I watch a Smile, and then you conversely flip it and you watch Terrifier 2, okay, they're both horror films. And I get the Terrifier is completely different from Smile. One is a splatterfest, or whatever the actual splatter gore, whatever we want to call that. And the other one's more of a pure horror film, right? But when you watch Terrifier, it's not really well directed. I mean, the edits are bad. The cinematography is not accomplished. It looks like a Disney Plus show. When you watch Smile, you see things framed well. You see interesting edits. You see cinematography. You got the score. You got all these elements. Obviously, I understand. I get it. But, that's what I'm looking for. If Terrifier and we're going to get to that in a minute, if Terrifier were more artistically leaning and less brutalizing, I mean, this is oh God, just wait, we're going to get into it in a minute, then I would probably enjoy it even more. As it is, it just is, I'm a snob. I'm going to not lie to you. I'm a snob when it comes to looking good. I mean, a film needs to look like a film. If it looks like a TV show or it looks like a really low budget indie film, even though I know that it has a low budget, you could still make it look better. There's been a lot of films that are shot like on an iPhone that don't look that way. They look much better than they are. Like, look at what was Red Rocket, Sean, God, I forget his last name right now. When you look at his first film, Tangerine, shot on an iPhone. So, and it looked good. So there's ways to make a film look good with technology that's not super expensive. I completely believe that. Dan, good evening to you. $17 million budget. Okay, so that's higher than I thought, but it's still under 20, so it's over. Even with the advertising and everything, we're way over. We're at 90 million worldwide. So it's obviously, it's making a profit right now. And they were going to put it on streaming, and then they did test screenings. Listen, and this is the thing about Smile. It's another example of, if you're a studio and you have something that even has a chance to make money theatrically, I don't understand how you're not throwing it into theaters at least for a weekend or two and to make your money. You've seen AMC, Regal, I imagine Cinemark, and whoever the hell else is out there, that they would agree to these windows that are condensed. Even though I don't like them, if I'm a theater owner and you come to me like Terrifier, it's theatrical only, and you say, I'm going to give you like 10 days of theatrical only if you show it AMC, which they did, so did Regal on Terrifier 2, then take it. So I you know me, guys, come on, I'm going to go theatrical all day, all night. I mean, every day, all day. Don't put director and Smile. No, I mean, Rose Glass is above Parker Finn, but I'm saying I still am very interested in what Parker Finn does next. Okay, that's what I want to establish. All right, let's go to, and we're going to go to the next, and we'll come back. We'll get to all this. I want to get to all the things we're going to lay out, the topics tonight. Then we'll roll back to it. So we had Tar and we had Triangle of Sadness. Both do something I love, and especially Tar. Old school platform releasing. For those of you new to the channel, we talk about it all the time. Platform releasing is when you take a film like Tar and you release it in New York and LA only. In this case, it was 4 theaters, 2 in LA, 2 in New York. What that does is it drives everyone who's curious and wants to see this art house film, which Tar very much is, even though I think it's very accessible as well. You drive those people in those cities that have so many film lovers in them. LA, New York, you're going to add Chicago, San Francisco. You're going to add those cities as we go. But when you start there, you cram the theaters, Century City, the Grove, and whatever the 2 in, I think, Lincoln, somewhere in New York. Trust, I'm an LA guy, sorry. You cram everybody in, and you get this huge per location average, per theater average. In this case, it was 60,000. Was it 60 or 40? 60. 60,000 per, which is a huge number. Now, in the old days, you could get a screening with like one theater with like 100 and some thousand. I feel like those days, maybe with art house is not quite there, and I don't know if it'll ever come back. That was a different time. But still, this is a great number. Why is it smart to do this? Because when you have Tar opening New York and LA and putting up this really good number, you drive a very important thing home right off the bat about your film. Good PR, because it did so well in each individual location that you can say, look at Tar, it performed so well. I think that Fox / Disney / 20th Century, yeah, forget the Fox, they would have been better served to put Amsterdam in New York and LA. Would it have made a huge difference? Probably not, but I still love the idea of just giving it to the film-centric universe, right, to New York, LA, and then going across. It just makes more sense to me. Both of them did well. Triangle of Sadness did very well, and Tar, which I think, for me, is in the top 5 films of the year. Tar is beyond, it's not just about, as we said here on Friday, we need to make this clear. Tar is not just about Cate Blanchett. Tar is a film that should play in director, screenplay, picture, everywhere. No question. So we need to remember that. Also, right there is the invite to the big Tar event the other night. This was Thursday night at the Academy Museum. I don't have I folded it up and put it in my pocket. I had to go into it's a ticket. I'm going to stick it here until we get the actual box, but I can promise you this, because I love Tar so much. Tar is absolutely going to be somewhere in the prime real estate here on MMT. let's go. Before we get to the next comments, I do want to give you some thoughts on Triangle of Sadness. Just got out of it. I saw it today. I've been putting it off. I wanted to get to it. Listen, here's where I come down on this film. I'm a huge fan. When you go back and you look at a small indie film that I really loved, and it really was his not technically debut, but I mean his film that really brought him to notice. Everybody was like, "Who's this Ruben Östlund guy?" Okay, it was Force Majeure, and you go back to I think it was 2014, and you look at Triangle of Sadness. Let me pull it up here, and you are looking at a film that is so good in so many areas, but in this case, I would say that what I just saw from Triangle of Sadness is very much like what I saw from Everything Everywhere All at Once. They are kindred spirits. And let me tell you how they're related. They are both films that have directors that didn't know when to stop. So when you look at Everything Everywhere All at Once, you're looking at a film that has a lot of really great ideas, a lot of great threads, a lot of really cool things going on in it. Until you get to the end of the film, when you get bashed over the head relentlessly and repetitively the same exact thing over and over and over. That's the problem with Everything Everywhere All at Once. And very similarly here with Triangle of Sadness, you're looking at a film that has these really great ideas of class, about when you talk about transaction economy. It's got a lot of stuff in this film that is really heady and speaks to just life, okay, in the way that it's a struggle for some people, and for other people it is definitely not. And then you have this things such as the barf scene. For those of you who don't know what Triangle of Sadness, they all get stuck on this cruise, and it is a cruise for mega rich people. And in the midst of this dinner with the captain, Woody Harrelson, they all get seasick and they start throwing up. At first, it's great. I'm like, this is funny. I love this. The problem is that the scene continues and continues and continues, just like Everything Everywhere All at Once. When you start to see hot dog fingers and Ratatouille, or whatever the hell it was called, over and over, like 5, 6, 7 times, Black Bagel, 7, 10, 15 times, you start to want to choke the film. I want to kill you at this point. That's why it was like a relationship that you love somebody, and then all of a sudden you're like, okay, I want to divorce you, and I never want to see you again. That is what happens with Everything Everywhere All at Once. I'll defend that until the end of time on this channel. Come into the comments and tell me I'm wrong, because I'll tell you you're wrong. When you look at Triangle of Sadness, same thing. You have the barf scene that goes on too long. You have the opening that takes too long to get to the boat. The boat takes just about the right amount of time. And then we get to another thing that I'm not going to give the film away. That takes too long to get to the end. Then you have a really strong ending. It's a film that is so uneven and so maddening that it was just really frustrating. And another thing that frustrated the hell out of me with Triangle of Sadness, afterwards I go in and I just like to read tweets afterwards, because I don't want to hear before. After I go, there's someone, and this is, don't be this person. Please do not be this person that says, oh my God, Triangle of Sadness is blah, 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 a masterpiece. I'm like, oh, come on, man. Do not use that word. Okay, we talk about it so often. I'm doing it again. Do not throw the word masterpiece around. Like, don't use it. It should be a word. Think of it as like a word you can't utter, right? Just put it away. And you can bring it out from behind the bookshelf once every few years, because Triangle of Sadness is not a masterpiece. And when you say that it's a masterpiece, and it's not. We're not going to debate this. When you say Triangle of Sadness is a masterpiece, then you instantly reveal yourself to be a fraud. You're 100% fraud. So that's the problem. And now everyone's like, oh, Erick, it's subjective. It could be a masterpiece to somebody. Yeah, it could, but I'm not going to take their opinion seriously going forward. It's that simple. Also, someone today, this is great. I want to get into this too. I'm sorry. You guys are like, oh God, we're stuck on Triangle of Sadness, because it's symptomatic of so many things. Someone on Twitter, and you can go look, I got back and forth, said, oh, Erick, critics generally like his work and consider it very good, so I don't know what you're saying. Hold on. If we're going to sit here and say, because other critics say that the work of Director X, in this case, Ruben Östlund, is considered great, which I told you I love Force Majeure. The Square, but Force Majeure. Here's the thing. Don't ever be that person who says, I have to say this about someone. Like, that is the dumbest comment. Like, at that point, I just need to block you because you revealed that you're an idiot. Hey, everybody else seems to think that this person is a genius, so you should as well. Okay, if that's how we're going to do it, then why am I even doing this? What are we doing? Not to mention, I think, back me up in the comments, guys. You ready? Here it comes. My track record over the years is really strong. And that's not an ego thing. Okay. It's not an ego thing. I'm telling you, the reality is that when you call a film correct, and there is generally a correct thing, okay, over and over and over at like a 90% plus clip, and trust me, I'm there. You generally are right more often than not. So to come in and tell me, like, I don't know what I'm talking about, Triangle of Sadness, I'm like, I know exactly what I'm talking about. The fact that you don't see it is the issue, because it's there. So, okay, enough about Triangle of Sadness. We'll go to the comments. It's like the film that you hear these people saying, oh, Triangle of Sadness is the best movie ever made. It's a masterpiece. And then you watch it and you go, yeah, there's some really good things. I love this, this, and this. But boom, 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 boom. And I just told you, it's really all about an excess of everything. And that can't be a masterpiece if you have an excess of everything. Remember my Film Courage video. Less is more. Do not ever forget that. Again, God, I just can't anymore with you people. Not you guys, the other people. Let's do this, then we'll get to comments. Terrifier 2. I watched it last night. Is it the most violent film ever made? I posed this question to you. For those of you who watched it, I think it's pretty fair to ask the question. This is a film that features Art the Clown, who is this supernatural, like Freddy Krueger meets Jason meets Michael Myers clown killer that goes around and disembowels people, okay? But not just that. We have a situation where you have not just killings, but you have sadistic killings to the point where someone is not just killed, they are mutilated, and then after mutilated, they're set on fire. After they're set on fire, we douse them in acid. Or actually, it'd probably be acid then set on fire. You see where it's literally like it's a dead body, and now we're going to continue to brutalize said dead body. Okay, at some point, it's too much, okay? I know there's an audience for this. I understand. I like Art the Clown. I like the creepy elements of the film, but when it gets to be so violent to the point where even I have to like wince and look away, and it becomes very unpleasant to watch, that's an issue. So that's my primary problem with this film, is that it's very difficult to sit here and watch the level of violence that is NC-17 plus. I mean, this is an X-rated film, right? I mean, we say NC-17 instead of X now. It's an X-rated film. And I'm really surprised that AMC and Regal even showed it, because it is quite possibly, as you see there, the most violent film ever made. It's right there. I mean, Faces of Death, but of course that was real. Other films that are, Human Centipede, hella violent. I mean, this is there. This is in there. Hit me in the comments. Okay. Before we get, I've told you guys we're going to do comments. I have to get this story in, because if I don't do it, I'm going to forget it. I'm telling you guys what happened on Friday night. I never revealed it until this moment. Here it comes. Okay, so Friday night, I go to see Armageddon Time. We haven't talked about the film because, frankly, it's not great. We'll do it as it gets closer to opening. I love James Gray. I love Ad Astra. Unfortunately, Armageddon Time just doesn't work. Here is the funny part. So I'm sitting there. I'm at the DGA, which is right here on Sunset Boulevard, and all these big famous people in there. I'm just like, whatever. I come in. I'm not kidding you. I come in from the gym with my tights on, and of course, what do you think? A soccer/football kit. So I have my kit on. I'm sitting there. I'm sitting on the aisle, and in comes the gentleman. He walks past me with a woman, and gets past me, and then looks at me and says, it has a mask on. And I said, okay, hi. He said, hey, you're Erick Weber. I said, yeah, I'm Erick Weber. He goes, oh, I follow. I read your stuff on Twitter. He goes, Matt Reeves. I go, oh my God. And at that moment, you got to understand, you guys know I love Matt Reeves. Okay. If you don't, go back and watch multiple streams of me talking about how much I love Matt Reeves. So this is one of these moments I go, oh my God. First of all, one of my favorite directors, okay, going back to Let Me In, Cloverfield, Let Me In is the one. And I actually told him that. But when he said, oh, Erick Weber, I read your stuff on Twitter. You're the guy who's always saying this film's going to do good or this film's going to do bad. That's me. I go, that's kind of cool, because he identified me, knew who I was, and then we had a brief conversation, and I asked him what he's up to, and you guys ready for this? You'll never hear this anywhere else. He's working on Batman 2. Are you surprised? So Matt Reeves sat next to me at the screening for Armageddon time. That is LA in a nutshell, right? At any given moment, you never know who you're going to meet, but that was really cool to meet like an idol, somebody who I have followed for many, many years. It would be very awkward if I was at a film, which will happen, and then here come the Russo brothers. That will not go as well. At that point, I will probably be looking sideways down, tying my shoe. But I'm not going to avoid, but you know what I mean? It's like there's certain directors like David O. Russell after Amsterdam. I don't really want to run into him, but it was really cool to see Matt Reeves. Okay, here we go. Tonight's kit, PSG. And let's do it. Let's go right to the comments, go all the way back. Let's see what we got here. Do you think Tar or Triangle will be nominated for Best Picture? That's a very perfect question to start off our open comment time here on this Sunday night. Tar, yes. Triangle, no chance in hell. Okay. Tar, as I said, is not just Cate Blanchett. It is a picture, it is a director, it is a screenplay. So you've got all three of those, plus you could do a supporting somewhere in there, but you have the three biggies. You have picture, director, screenplay, and then you have best actress. So you've got four huge categories, and Tar absolutely fits there. Triangle of Sadness doesn't really fit for me anywhere. If anywhere, it would fit in original screenplay, but I told you my problem with the film is the screenplay. So it's not going to fit in a direction. It's too weird. It's too obtuse. It's too long. It's over long too. And it's also the kind of film that Academy members will not get all that excited about. It's more of a film Twitter film than an Academy film. So that's Tar, yes. Triangle, no. Triangle Sadness, amazing. The Captain's Dinner, it's very good. Listen, Kevin, welcome to the channel, by the way. It's that is the best part of the Captain's Dinner, where the boat's rocking and things are, it's great. But I wish that we would have clamped down on the scene and brought it in instead of the toilets overflowing. I wish we would have like just taken it and stopped and moved on. It's weird. There's this strange thing that it's almost like a timing thing, right? So when you're watching, what is a timing thing? You're watching a film, and I almost think like an editor at times, where you feel it and you feel like, that's the edit. That's the edit. You feel it. You get this, like, I was watching a film the other day, and it had okay, I told you guys about Coda, right? So let's use Coda for example. Coda is a great example. So Coda, the end of Coda, for those of you who, and trust me, there's no reason you should remember Coda. It's going to go down as one of the worst best pictures ever. The most embarrassing. It is. It's not a great film. It's a fine film. It's not a great film. It's not a best picture. No way. No chance. But when you watch Coda, the last scene is as she drives off to college, right? So here she goes. She's going to college. And then instead of when you're watching this, Sean Hayter, and this is as a someone who's very good visually. Sorry, I'm just saying the truth. You look at her face, and she's looking out the car, right? I forget her name, the actress now, because it's next award season. I've already moved on. She's looking out the car, and she's giving the Coda sign, right? What the Coda sign? That's your end shot. The shot of her eyes, the shot of her face. The film's over. No, watch Coda. The last scene, you see the car drive off. That shouldn't happen. I shouldn't be here on a YouTube stream on a Sunday night telling the director that your better cut is the face, and then it goes to black. And I'm right. You know I'm right. Give me a thumbs. You know, anyone, come in the comments, tell me. I'm 100% right. And I'm 100% right about Triangle of Sadness. That's how I brought it all the way back to that. But it's the same thing as Coda. You're looking for that moment where you go, that's it. And when I watch the Captain's Dinner set piece, which is amazing, there's a point where it's boom, next, and he keeps going. And that's where you lose points. When you overrun, right? So this show, trust me, is already too long in an hour. But if I keep going for 2 hours or 3 hours, first of all, none of you will be there. We know that. But it's also going to be diminishing returns. You're going to be like, okay, now he's talking about something we don't even care about at all. And right now you might not. So we're already there. So when you get to that point, you need to know when to yank the chute. It's over. And I think that we have that problem over and over in Triangle of Sadness. Scenes need to be condensed. Same thing can be there. We just need to bring the whole film in at 2 maybe 155, 150, better film. It comes in at 220, it's too long. These are things that you got to get better at. I'm not just calling you out, Kevin. I'm not saying you, but pay attention to that stuff. It matters. It makes a difference. So that when you have a conversation with a Matt Reeves, which by the way, I should have, I didn't tell him this. Batman's a little long. Okay. But it's not like it destroys the film, a little long. And of course, there's some things, but he didn't ask me for that. But if he did, I wouldn't be afraid to. Okay. You have to be fearless in your evaluations. And in this case, Kevin, I commend you and applaud you for saying it's amazing. You believe that. It's not, thank God you didn't say it's a masterpiece. Okay. Then I would not applaud. But I understand that. I get it. Okay. Seeing Tar on Friday morning, you're going to love it, David. It's so great. Where are you, by the way? Force Majeure is amazing. I mean, it's a great film. I love Force Majeure. And you know, a great story. Another story. Hey, here comes Erickson's stories. So Critics' Choice that year, Force Majeure nominated for Best International, or back then as Best Foreign. And I'm on a bus ride from Critics' Choice over to the party, the after party, like down the street in Hollywood. We all get on a van. So on the van, for those of you who haven't seen Force Majeure, you're like, oh God, what's he talking? On the van is the friend, the red-haired dude, right? If you've seen Force Majeure, I forget the actor. Plus the dude, the guy, the dad. They're both on the bus. And I'm like, in this small bus, I'm like, I love Force Majeure. And they looked at me like, you saw it? Hell yeah, I love Force Majeure. That is me in a nutshell. A bus full of random, small, indie actors. And I'm like, I love your film. That is me, right? I will seek those people out all day. So yes, there's my Force Majeure after party story. That'll never be told again, ever. Well, the success of the Fathom events and similar companies, you think limited releases in New York, LA would be wider, would make a bigger comeback. Ken, I agree. I would throw Boston in there because I know you're there. It's really smart because you drive audiences in to see these films where you have the highest number of potential audience members. I mean, New York, LA, Boston, Chicago, DC, San Francisco, right? These are the major film centers of the United States. Philadelphia, any major city. I mean, come on. But New York, LA are one too. So when you look at that, that's where you open and then you bring it across. Now, why do you do that? Again, for good PR. So now TAR is looking at great PR. So even if Focus were to go wide with TAR next Friday, right? I know they're going to expand, like, right? They're going to open up just a little like that. So they're going to open it and then we're going to get kind of like they did with Everything Everywhere All at Once, which by the way, worked for A24. When you open it like that, then you are working on good buzz because the numbers are great, the reviews are solid, and then you end up, people want to see the film. So the buzz builds, and then when TAR opens wide, then you have a larger available audience. But let's say that TAR doesn't do well when it opens wide, because it's still not a really big, wide, mainstream film. Still, you have that original good PR from New York, LA in your back pocket, and that's what people remember. They tend to remember that more than they do the second thing. So that's why it's wise for these studios to do this. It's a really smart move. I just saw Hereditary again recently, one of the best horror movies, so damn good. And there's no question that Smile and Parker Finn has watched Hereditary, right? It's there, okay? And every filmmaker has been influenced by someone else, okay? Unless you were the first person to make, one of the first directors ever to make film, you weren't influenced by anyone. Everyone else has been. So when you look at Parker Finn and Smile, you definitely see Hereditary. And it's okay. There's nothing wrong with seeing threads. You just don't want to see something that's too on the nose. Then you go, wait a second, you're ripping this off. And that's why I go back to that movie, The Empty Man. For those of you who, there were people saying The Empty Man is like a cult classic. Empty Man's terrible. And again, The Empty Man's terrible because 90% of you have never seen it, is that the end of Empty Man, and at this point, I don't even care. The movie's been out forever. I'm going to ruin it. The end of Empty Man is the exact same ending as Hereditary. The exact same ending. He looks around and realizes, oh my God, I've been turned into the evil source. It's the same. He stole it. Like, how do you do that? That'd be like, I call people out on Twitter for this too, right? Have you seen this? I did the other day. There was someone who said, in the morning, said, hey, if you want to get the Oscar ratings up, then you invite the RRR guys to come and sing the song live, right? You get it nominated, you have them sing. Later in the day, just slightly remixed, okay? Hey, I think the Oscars would be smart to bring these two guys in and help the ratings. I'm like, it's the same fucking thing, dude. You just stole this tweet and remixed it for yourself. And here's how I know that he did, because the first tweet had a ton of likes, like 50,000, 100,000. It was on a thread that everyone was looking at. And I'll bet you this person follows this person. And so, but how do you have, here's the thing. Here's what I'm going to ask you guys. How do you have the balls / brains or lack of to copy someone and then use it for yourself and then be like, that's okay? Like, there's another, I'm not going to call him out. I'm not going to do this, guys. I won't do it. But there is someone in the film space who's been accused of stealing other people's stuff, right? Goes to see something and then looks at other reactions and then cobbles together that. I would never want to do that. Why would you want to be somebody who steals things from other people? So, wow, we have really gone. This is what happens on Midnight Movie Talk, by the way. Vault of the Future, you did it. Is that we start with one thing and now we're so far down another route, but it's still tangential, okay? Because we have Hereditary being mimicked by Parker Finn, no question, and we have people stealing tweets and using it for their own. How? Someone explain the psychology of that. Can someone please explain the psychology of stealing a tweet and presenting it as your own? And it's very clearly been stolen. Like, okay, I had this happen to me. I came out of Tenet. I went to Vegas with Chris Gore. We drove 4.5 hours one way to Vegas to watch Tenet when all the theaters were closed in LA because it's too dangerous to watch a movie. You all could die if you watch a movie. You know how I feel about that now. And we went to Vegas, and I came out and I said, the real MVP of Tenet is Ludwig Göransson. And I said, that's right, Göransson. I think that sounds right. Ludwig. And I said, he's the next day someone was like, you know who the MVP of Tenet is? Ludwig. I go, what are you kidding me? Because the thing is my tweet had already gone big. Why would you do that? Can someone explain why? That's the bet herd mentality. But Wasim, it's not, it's pathetic mentality. Be original. Don't steal other people's ideas. Be original. Do your own thing. That's what we do here. Do you think I watch Grace Randolph? Do you think I watch Grace? Tonight we're going to talk about the movies at the box office that happened today. The camera's here. Then I said this and that. I'm not going to watch Grace Randolph. I'm not going to, guys, I think that there's a lot of things. Why would I do that? Why would I ever take anything? I'm going to come on here and just shoot the shit. That's what we do. That's what we do here on MMT. Lottery numbers, please. Your track record. Thank you for having my back, Wasim. My track record has been virtually impeccable this year, and I would argue in the past decade. But that's okay. It's it's a good start. The Empty Man's so bad, so long, and so oh my god. Thank you for being right on this, Gone Girl. It's such a bad film. Oh no, I love The Empty Man. Bad form. No way, David. Okay, fine. You know what? You want to play that game? The Empty Man game? You come on here right now and say to me with your hand on a Bible that the end, fine, I'll assume you have it there, that you're under oath and you have to state that the ending of The Empty Man is not a complete and utter absolute plagiarism, just ripped it straight off of Hereditary. You tell me that right now. Do it. Come on. You can't, because it is. It's 100%. Google's empty. This is the problem, is I'm talking about a very... You know what, though? Hold on. Let me just say this. Me here talking about The Empty Man with the other two people who saw it is the very snapshot of Midnight Movie Talk. This is why we are niche. This is why we forever will be niche, because we talk about things like this. We don't talk about, did you see that new trailer? Oh my God, look at that. Oh, yeah. We don't do that shit. I mean, there's plenty of people who do that. If you want to lose brain cells, watch them. This show asks you to use your brain and to think and to have a conversation and things like that. Oh God, someone said something about Grace Randolph. What? I love how you bash Grace Randolph. I've literally never heard of her. What? You've never seen Grace? Dude, someone fill Ken Murray. Okay, I will pull up a comment for someone that can explain do your best to explain Grace Randolph to Ken, who's never watched her. Can someone please condense what she does into a comment? When we eventually get to the point where we're monetized, I'll be able to send you guys things for people who come up with awesome comments like that. What would you rather watch again, Amsterdam or Gray Man? Gray Man. Wow. Oh, that hurts. But Gray Man, for sure. What's your poison? Iron Man 3, Wonder Woman 84, Empty Man. Iron Man 3. It's not a great Marvel movie. It's not a bad movie. I gave it like a C plus. Wonder Woman 84 is a bad film, and Empty Man's a really bad film. So in order, I would not watch Empty Man again. I would watch Wonder Woman 84 second to not wanting to watch, and then I would suffer through Iron Man 3 again and watch the Mandarin get his balls cut off. At that point, I would be angry and I would absolutely imbibe the entire bottle of Skull from Midsummer because I had to watch Iron Man 3 again. But why did you have to do that to me tonight? I'm not going to be able to sleep. People edit their videos to make it look clean and less messy with the constant edits and reshoots, but it does the exact opposite. Either shoot it live or in one take. No, that's too easy, Gone Girl. We're going to go, I liked about, and then, but yeah, when I said that I did, and then we have plenty of mistakes here. They're fairly obvious, and so be it. I'm not going to worry about that. I'm not going to go back in and re-edit this thing. I mean, we just go. I mean, on Twitter, I do cut some things out, but I'm saying there's no like, let's change this around and do this. No, it's live. We'll do it live. You all have seen that. Please tell me you've seen the Bill O'Reilly, whatever you think of him. Bill O'Reilly Inside Edition. We'll do it live. That was great. I mean, that is so good. He's just furious. He's just like, oh, this. We're doing it live. The main difference with Empty Man Ending is the cop dude never existed to begin with. No, it's the same. It's the same exact idea. Okay, yes, David, but I'm just saying it's the same exact thing. Stop. Don't do it. Don't go down this path, David. I miss all the small indies now that I don't live in Chicago. Where are you now, by the way, Josh? Are you in Indiana somewhere? Yeah, once you leave a big city, you don't get these films. You don't get films like Poser. You don't get films like, well, Terrifier 2 did go wide. You don't get these small little indie films that I love to talk about. Triangle of Sadness did go quasi-wide. I think they're going to go wider next weekend, but it really is an art house. It's a neon film, right? So Tar, though, you'll be able to see. You just got to wait. That's the thing is that's why I don't like to talk about these films too much, right? Like Empire of Light. I'm going to see Banshees tomorrow. I've already seen Till. I've seen Devotion. I've seen all these films ahead of time, Armageddon time, but I don't want to discuss them really in depth because you haven't seen them. I'd rather talk about them as we get closer so I can tell you if it's worth your time. I can tell you right now, very short, very sweet, that Armageddon time is not worth your time. And that comes from a huge fan of Ad Astra, Lost City of Z, James Gray, love him. But in this case, this is a film that doesn't work. It's like Belfast, only even less authentic. And I know a lot of you do not think that Belfast feels authentic. So how do you think you feel about Armageddon time? Interesting story about Armageddon time. So I see it on Friday night at the DGA. And then today I go to see Triangle of Sadness. And in front of it is a trailer for Armageddon time. I've never seen it. The trailer for Armageddon time makes it look like a really good film, which tells me that it's possible to make any film look good with a trailer, except for Amsterdam. There's no universe you can do that. But when you watch the trailer for Armageddon time, you're like, oh, this looks like a very good film. And then you actually hadn't seen it, 2 days before. It's not a good film. So, whoa, that trailer looks good, but the movie's not good. So remember to be wary of trailers. Smile's a bit derivative. Some scares are slightly modified from other movies. The sister turned head from an Argentinian film. Yeah, right. Yeah, exactly. I feel like I've seen that before. I don't think I saw this at Terrados. I didn't see it. But exactly, people steal things. But stealing tweets? Grace Randolph is the Joker to Jessica Chastain's Batman. What do you think of, wow. Okay, that what do you think, Ken? Grace Randolph is the dog that catches the car and then just keeps barking. Oh no! Oh god! Are we gonna do this? Are there any more? Okay. Okay. I don't. This is gonna get cut out. No, I'm not gonna do this. Whatever we do with Grace Randolph, whatever we say, and this is fair because this is what I like to do. I like to be very fair. Grace Randolph has a very big audience, right? Good Lord, I think she has 1 million subscribers, if not more. Her videos get hundreds of thousands of views. But let me put a gigantic caveat on that. I mean, like massive. Like here is this. Not that great. Okay, sorry, it's not that great. You could say I'm not great, and that's probably accurate too. But I can tell you that if I was reviewing Grace Randolph and then I found out that she had this subscriber base she has and the view she has, I'd say, what? Like I would literally, like my head would go. brains splattered all over the place, much like Art the Clown in Terrifier 2. It would be a kill like that because I wouldn't be able to comprehend how this happened. But I do know one thing, and this is true, right? We know this. When you are first to market, God, I love the Social Network. When you're first to market, you have a lot of advantages over everybody else. Like, say, a tiny little show called MMT that is only 6 months old. It takes a long time to build, but I got to be honest with you. I'm okay with it, man. I'm totally cool. I told you guys this, and thank you, superhero movies. I prefer the show to be niche. We base our whole lives around midnight movie talk. Yeah, that I like for the cinematic knowledge. But the truth is, I feel like we're doing way more here. We're like elevated. Like so I feel like Grace Randolph is like movies 101. Okay, we are film 700. Okay, we're way up there. I mean, we are like advanced, seniors only in the class, no freshmen. Certainly no one, under the age of 16. They're not going to get the show. So this is advanced educational cinephilic programming. So we're not going to have the base that Grace Randolph does. And it just is what it is. Okay. I know it's okay. I'm okay with it. I've made my peace with that. So just know that I don't ever aspire to be Grace Randolph. Did you think I did? I finally saw Fall watching the making of, and they actually shot on a 100-foot tower. I thought they did. It really looked like they're up there on something. I mean, not obviously the thing that's like a mile high, obviously I'm being a little exaggerative, but yeah, the movie's cool, right? It's super entertaining, and the vulture scene's amazing. Fall is it'll be one of my most fun films of the year. When I look back at 2022 and I say, what films did I have fun watching? Fall, The Forgiven for the event, not because the film is that much fun, but because we had such a wonderful night that night. Oh my God. These are two that popped to mind. Then I think Tar. I mean, that's not a fun movie, but I'm thinking things that I remember back to and I'll never forget. I know that sounds kind of weird to say that I'll never forget sitting there and watching Tar. But first of all, I watched Tar at the Academy Museum at the David Geffen Theater, which is arguably the best theater in the entire world. And then you're seeing a theater that deserves to be on that screen, and then a performance that you don't see but once every 20 plus years, if that. And then you go, oh my God, this is a magical moment. These are the things that I love about doing this, is that you have these moments that you'll never forget. And one is Fall at the Burbank 16, and then the other one is Tar at the Academy Museum. Obviously, that should tell you the range here at MMT. I mean, if anyone ever says we only talk about this kind of film, we just literally talked about a throwaway B movie in Fall and then made our way to Tar. That is what this show is. And I think that that's the beauty of it. We don't just talk about superhero movies. Let's talk about the latest Marvel movie. And did you see in the background that one character? And do you think that what? Lord, my brain just goes off at that point. There's nothing wrong with it, but we already have enough of that. Nobody's doing what we do here. I think that's fair. Do you guys think that? Who else does something like? Very few people do. And if they do, they don't do it as well. That, I'm sorry. I'm going to own that. Runak, I hope I got that right. Mahato. A few days ago, you tweeted a photo. Is written, Jennifer Beals welcomes you to RRR. Okay, so I did not go. It was last night. It was the Academy. No, wrong. Not Academy. It was in Beverly Hills. It was a screening for RRR that the producers and the studio variants put together with Jennifer Beals in attendance. So here's what happens during award season for those of you who don't know. During award season, we talked about this before. I'll tell you again. During award season, studios love to have screenings for their films that are in contention, in this case, RRR. And then what they do is they try to invite a celebrity to be there to introduce the film, to glad hand, to say hello, kiss the babies, that stuff. And then you also get the film and you get a few stars. Maybe the director comes in. I bet he was there. All these people are in attendance. So when you watch the film immediately after, in this case, they had a pre-party and then the film was after. When you have that, then people are like, oh, it was so exciting. Last night I watched RRR and the director was there. He was super cool. And I got to meet Jennifer Beals, which seems kind of random, right? Jennifer Beals. I'm trying to figure out what the connection is. But a lot of times you see someone who knows the star, like a good friend, be there, like Adam Sandler for Hustle. And you guys know how I feel about that, but I'm just telling you what's happening. It's not an awards performance or movie. Adam Sandler had a party and Dustin Hoffman was there because remember they worked on that on that, what do you call it movie? The Baumbach movie. I already forgot what it's called. That so they worked in that, and then so they friends and they call in favors. That's how it works. That's how it works. So that's what it was. I didn't go because I don't want to drive across the Beverly Hills on a Saturday, even though I want to support RRR and I'm all there for it. It's just a long drive on a Saturday, so I'm gonna go just chill and watch Terrifier 2, watch Art the Clown disembowel and throw acid on someone's face, and then hit them with a claw hammer. I mean, that film, that film is repulsive. It's for such a small audience. It's for a very select. Terrifier 2 is for a very, very, very niche audience. It would be like if we did MM&T and then did even more niche, which is very hard to do. I don't know how we do that, but it would be even a more niche show. My top 3 anticipated films for the rest of the year: Babylon, Avatar, Glass Onion. I did not love Knives Out as much as all of you did. A lot of you did. I don't think it's great. I think it's fine. I don't think it's great. It's too long. It's got a lot. I think the mystery is very easy to solve, and it's okay. So Glass Onion, I hear, is more of the same, only a lot of people say it's not as good as Knives Out. And at that point, I'm like, whoa, hold on. If it's not as good as Knives Out, very good chance I'm not going to love it. I don't think it's an awards film either. I just don't. I know that Netflix thinks it does, and I know that Knives Out kind of was, right? It was right there, but I don't know. We'll see. I'll wait until I see it. I'm going to wait. Babylon, on the other hand, is Damien Chazelle. It's Paramount. They're having the year they're having. It's Brad Pitt. It's Margot Robbie. You're talking about a film that's very likely going to be right there at the end because you've got this Hollywood in the 40s, 30s, 40s. Or is it 20s and 30s? Whichever. Haven't seen it yet. I saw the trailer. I got to be honest with you. The trailer for Babylon didn't do a whole lot for me. In fact, if anything, it actually lessened my anticipation for it. I was expecting to see something that was more dramatic, and instead I got this screwball-y comedy thing. And I've already been burned by screwball comedies by Amsterdam, for God's sake. It kind of reminded me a little of Amsterdam when I saw in the Babylon trailer. I go, hold on. If this is anything like Amsterdam, oh my God. Amsterdam's so bad. Smash that like button. Thank you, guys. And please, let's listen, guys. I've told you I need your help. Recruit. Today was a good day, though. Let me pull back. Hold on 1 second. I'm going to show you guys. This is funny. One more time. This is how we build the audience. I didn't even mean to do this, but I'm going to bring it up again. Let me pull it up. So this is the tweet that I sent. So I wanted to make sure, again, for those of you just joining us, we're just about ready to wrap. So I want to close with, well, or get close to closing with this. I want to make certain I'm first to say Amsterdam's going to crater next weekend, which, by the way, was sent a week before. So I sent this tweet. This is my receipt. Man, I called this. I knew it. It was going to bomb. Boom, there it is. So this is what I thought was hilarious. So when I click on that, we go down here and we hit, you guys can't do this. This is another thing you get to see here on MMT. You don't get to see anywhere else. I click on this view tweet analytics, okay? Because I send it, I get to see it. So now we're at 57. We're at 58,000 impressions. This is a tweet that I just randomly sent from my phone this morning. So I was like, okay, I want to make sure people know that I called this. Because when you're right, you're like, hey man, I called that. So I go, let's do it. 58,000. So hopefully we'll get some new MMT subscribers from that. Hint, 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 hint. I was here first when Erick's Grace impression was trending on Twitter. Was it? Wait. Oh. I've done so many of them. I mean, was there one? There's another one. I mean, it's not hard to do. I'm not going to do it again. I've done it too many times. So guys, welcome to the show. Camera's over here. Just answer me this before we go. Just answer me. Am I the only person that sees that she's looking here? Am I the only person that notices that she's not looking at the camera? She's looking at something off camera. Would you like if I did MMT like this? Just tell me, am I the only person who notices that she's looking here or here or here, but not here? Tell me am I the only person? Come on. No, it's someone, before we wrap, somebody stop me. Am I the only person who notices that Grace Randolph looks here? Doesn't look at the camera. If the Grace Randolph lovers come after me, forget it. I can't. Margot Robbie. Yeah, bruh. Thank you. Welcome to the channel, by the way. Margot Robbie. I'm gonna assume you're gonna say is. Yeah. I've seen Margot Robbie in person. I went out of my way to go up and say hello to her at the Critics' Choice, like for the I, Tonya year. So what was that, 2016? And I had a few drinks. And at that point, I was like, I want to go up and say hi to Margot Robbie. So I don't think I screwed it up. I just really quick just went, Margot, I love you and I, Tonya, you're amazing. And for a brief moment, the world stopped. The universe stopped spinning. The world, everything stopped, and I just go, my God, it's Margot Robbie, and she's dropped dead. She's exactly what you think in person. I've said this before about you guys love these stories. I'll tell you again. I've said it before. I haven't told it in a long time. Who is it? Someone in the comments who's watched the show a long time. Who's the number one celebrity who, when I saw in person, I literally stopped and say that can't be a real person. That is too pretty. It's like you look and you go, there's no way that's a real human being. That has to be a CGI creation. Do you guys remember who I said that was? Do you remember? Okay. It'll take a second to pop in. But think about, I told you that somebody, a major star, it wasn't Margot Robbie, it was someone else. The goddess. Oh, wait. Yes, Ken. It was Elizabeth Olsen. I mean, oh my God. I don't mind fanboying out on that. I mean, she is drop dead. Drop dead gorgeous. So there's that. There's the things you didn't get from anywhere else. Elizabeth, thank you, everybody who's been here since the beginning when I told that story. Good. To be fair, Grace does not do that during her life. Oh, okay. So live stream, she looks at the camera. Okay, Leah, that's fine. I love things that are be fair. Recordings, yes, she looks at gotcha. So the notes are up here. I don't watch the live streams. Does she do comments or she just do talking? I'm not gonna watch. And we don't want to make Ken watch. I just don't know what she does. So Aaliyah, then fine. Before we close tonight, and we'll be back, by the way, Wednesday night. Wednesday night, we're back for Halloween Kills. Sorry, Ends. I never will get that right because they just sound the same to me. Halloween Ends is Wednesday. I will be on later than usual because the movies... No, actually, we'll be on at normal time, 9 o'clock. 9 o'clock, first reactions. It's got to be a little bit contained because there's a social media only thing going on. Reviews, but we will talk about Halloween Ends on Wednesday, spoiler free. But tell me, Aaliyah, why should I watch her? Tell me, is it really, she refers, okay, she does refer, but she doesn't do live things like this. Like, we're just sitting this like this. Look, Ken met Elizabeth Olsen too, and good Lord, exactly, 100%. Is Terrifier 2, see how quick, we're just moving. We're not stopping. We're just going to hit these things. Gingy says, she uploaded. Terrifier 2, no. Is it Kumit? I can't read that with threes, 2 3s. We'll call you 33. Is it? No. The best horror film of the year is, for me right now, is Smile, followed by X. The goriest film of the year is Terrifier 2. But listen, 3-3. I'm just going to call you 3-3. You have to say, you got to admit, if you're going to watch Terrifier 2, you got to admit, and I know that it's not supposed to be a well-crafted film or whatever. It looks like crap. It looks like a Disney Plus show. Now, granted, the content isn't, but it looks like I'm watching a TV movie. And then you have bad edits, which are just really just jarring the edit. I understand that's kind of what they're going for, right? That really low-budget indie stuff. I understand. I get it. But if you take Art the Clown and you put him in more of dialed in from a film perspective with, on film, with coloring, more moody and dial back the violence. I understand that's what he's doing. I'm just saying he's so creepy and frankly terrifying to look at that I think the film would be awesome. So it's like one of these cases where I watch a film, Terrifier 2, and I say, I wish that it were this versus that. Now, for some of you, you're fine with that. But I'm saying for me, I think that I want to see a film that's more looks like a film. It doesn't look like something thrown together like, just really choppily like a trauma film. I know it's what it's supposed to be. I get it, but you understand what I'm saying too. All right, now I'm getting tired. We're almost done. 2-minute warning. Barbarian's greater than Smile. Let's go really fast. I disagree with that. I completely disagree with that. But David, we are like not on the same page. Okay, we got to, that's for sure. But it's okay. You're allowed to have your opinion. Even though you're wrong. Aaliyah, not all of her streams, every 2 to 4 weeks, she welcomes everyone now. Okay, good. Every 2 to 4 weeks. I'll make sure to write that down. When does she do lives? I don't know. Does she do lives? Oh, Gone Girl's like, wait, when did she do lives? Aaliyah's like, wait a second. We only do lives because that's all we do here. We don't tape things. We don't refer to notes and shit. We might pull something up on the screen like that, but that's all we do. We don't do anything else. Do you want to look at any other tweets before we go? Let's see. Any other tweets? Anything going on? Let's see. Nah. Twitter's boring me. I'm done with Twitter. Let's get rid of Twitter. Okay, so let's wrap. Here you go. Let's see. How was Till? Okay, real quick, Alan. You asked me. You got it in on the line. Till is fine. Till is very much of a very standard film with a very good performance by Danielle Deadweiler. She is excellent. She's got a scene that is lights out, centerpiece scene in the courtroom. You'll know when you see it. The rest of the film is very by the numbers and doesn't really jump out too much. I think there's some really cool shots that we have here with the cinematography, but overall, I don't. Till's not a best picture. It doesn't rise to the best picture, best director level. You're really just looking at Danielle in that best actress. So it's okay. It's okay. Ad Astra technical aspects, Gravity, yes, and also listen. Ad Astra is a superior film to Gravity. Well, I can't continue the stream tonight. I'm absolutely exhausted. My eyes are starting to close. Ad Astra is better than Gravity. Please do not be wrong on that. Do not be wrong on that. Unedited, unfiltered MMT for the win 100% all the time. Wasim, that is exactly how we roll because there are no edits. Whatever happens here, happens here. And you guys are a big part of it. And I thank you again for that. I'll see you on Wednesday night for Halloween Ends discussion. No spoilers. Wednesday. Nothing tomorrow. Nothing. I'm taking 2 nights off. I'll see you guys Wednesday. And then we'll do it live. 9 o'clock. Halloween Ends.